Good morning, everyone. My name is Alicia Porcena. I am the Director of Small Business for the Office of Economic Opportunity and Inclusion at the City of Boston. It is a joy to be here today to talk about the ReStore program, which is a program that is federally funded and is really looks at the beautification of our neighborhoods and our storefronts. I'm joined by my colleague, Aaron Schleifer, who is also going to introduce himself and is going to be the main person speaking about the program as he oversees it. So, Aaron, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning as we go through the our process to engage graphic design companies to help us with small businesses in our neighborhood business districts beautify their storefronts. Um, I guess just get going with actually, are there any questions to begin? Do people have questions just to start about what the Restore program is, um, or what we're doing here? People familiar? Okay, I guess we'll just jump into it. Restore Design Service Program where is we uh, want to engage design professionals to work with us and small businesses in the city of Boston that own bricks and mortar businesses throughout our neighborhood commercial districts. For those who are familiar with Boston, our neighborhoods are identified mostly by their commercial districts. Like if you're in Nubian Square, people know where that is based on the commercial center, or Grove Hall, or Mattapan Square, or Rosendale Village. So our goal is to enhance the appearance of storefronts and signage that the small businesses in the located in these areas through uh, professional graphic design service um, firms. Um, so I guess we'll start with what the idea of readiness to proceed. How do we know when to engage a professional design service to services? And that starts with our office and our relationships with the businesses that come to us uh, asking for help. And we do what we call a business assessment, where we're talking to the business about their needs are, their express needs. And through that process, we will um, direct them to the appropriate services. In this instance, it would be, oh, I want to renovate my storefront. I need new signage. And that would then come to me and the Restore team. I guess next slide. Um, so there's three components, potentially up to three components of the Restore program. The two physical things are signage and facade renovation, and they're a result of a design process. So the sequence, some businesses just need new signage. So that's the purpose here, is to get graphic design um, firms to help us with design for the new signage. It could also involve a building owner or a series of businesses located in the same building who want a whole new face. And as you can see from the slide on the far right, the white looking building, that's a graphic design. That's a end product of a graphic design process on Bowden Street in Dorchester. Whereas the Allston Market was a single business on Harvard Street in Allston. And these are graphic design firm products. These are professional, and you can tell if you're in the surrounding area, these stand out as really high quality design and then actual fabrication by the sign company. Next slide, please. So there's three categories in which we're going to be soliciting graphic design services. So there's one that's historic buildings with first floor commercial storefronts. So they could be single-story historic buildings or multi-story historic buildings but our work is focused on the first floor or street level storefronts. The second one are multi-story buildings. Again, we're focused on the work on the first floor. They may have commercial upper floors or residential. The work again is on the first floor. And then there's single-story commercial buildings. We call the retail or street level buildings. So there's three different categories that we're soliciting, explicitly different ones. So people who are interested they can apply for each one, but they would do that separately, not all at once, or they would say, my firm, we're really doing historic stuff, so we're going to just apply for the historic buildings section. Next slide. So when responding to the request for information, this is some of the detail that you would want to include in your information that you're providing is, have you done work? Can you point out how, that type of work that you've done, maybe where it is? If it's in Boston, definitely call that out. If it's not in Boston, that's still fine. You should be showing samples of your work. And if you can show that you're on time and on budget, or what are the challenges that may come up when doing this kind of work, you should call out your process, how you work with the business, look at their phases of design process that you engage. You should call that out. We take a 3-phase process, or it's 6 phases, and this is how long it may take. And we generally work within this budget range on our design things. Next slide, please. So one of the most important parts of our process is our relationship with the business and or building owners, so that when we we meet both on site and over like this, a Zoom meeting, but that we get a full understanding of what the owner wants. And it may require your skill as a design professional to have the owner use their vernacular, and you're translating what they're saying. And it may be through photographs and or your own ability to go out to the location and gather information that you don't have to guess. And it's not just from Google Maps, it's really the interaction with the business owner or building owner. And it becomes an iterative process where the owner makes their first articulation, and you're using your professional skills to actually put it on paper so they can see it. I guess next slide, please. So these are samples of signage that is up in the city that's a result of professional graphic design firms and or collaboration with a sign company. These specific ones are mostly channel letters and that are lit, but actually Boston Flower Companies are externally lit Food Pack Express and Hero Hub, Halal Grill, those are internally lit signs. But those are based in our neighborhoods, and those are a decent sample. Next slide, please. Again, you'll see, so there's multi-story buildings here and single-story building storefronts, and different ways that they're lit. Dorelis has this reverse halo lit. That's and Globos y Fiestas has that's internally lit, and what's lit are the letters, versus Eagle Hill is not internal, is externally lit. Um, the blade sign, the sign that's perpendicular to the building, that's actually internally lit. But again, those are samples of graphic design work. Uh, Next slide, please. Um, Again, different versions of internally and externally lit signs. Blue Sakura is a metal panel that was laser cut, and they custom letters were pushed through custom letters that are, it's lit at night. You can see at night it lights up. You'll see the blue and the white lettering. And Alston Market is internally lit. That was an example we gave before, and that stands out in along Harvard Street in Alston. And then Urban Juice is externally lit. There's light fixtures that flash down onto the Urban Juice at night. Again, you'll see what we call blade signs for Urban Juice and Blue Sakura. So those stick out perpendicular to the building. Next slide, please. So here's an example of basically trying to integrate complementary signage for completely different businesses in the same building. On the above building, there's 4 different businesses that have different identities, different things they do differently, but we tried to integrate some kind of complementary design. Those are externally lit. You can see those light fixtures, low profile light fixtures on the top level of the building. And they all have blade signs. This design was done with all 4 business owners working together with the graphic design firm. And then the lower building is 3 different businesses, have completely different types of businesses, although one says auto body and Madhouse Motors. Madhouse Motors is not automotive. It's actually a motorcycle specific business, and Madhouse Cafe is a cafe. And this is a way of trying to integrate some complementary look while having completely different identities. This building's Lower Blue Hill Ave. It's striking in that it has much different appearance than the surrounding buildings, in that how the signs present to the street level. Next. So this slide shows an architectural design that includes a graphic piece. On the lower right, you'll see the color drawing showing the signage. So the graphic design was done after the architectural rendering. So that's why it's in color, and you'll see how it's complementary to the modern look of the storefront. Next slide, please. Again, here's I wish I put a before slide in. So here's a facade renovation where there's 3 different businesses. There's a a wine and spirit store, a restaurant, and a barber shop. This is on the corner of Dudley and Dearborn Street. They have different um, fonts, but the building owner wanted some standardization of the letter. So the fonts are close. They're not exact, but we get a particular outcome, a look on the building. Um, Next, please. Oh, okay. I guess we're done with the. So, um, before I go to questions, a couple things. The process, ideally, um, starting with a time frame, is hopefully no more than 6 weeks. We're looking at sort of a three-phase process. Um, and there's 2 weeks for each phase. There's the initial meeting where you have the graphic design firm, um, the business owner, and the ReStore team member meet together to go through what the ideas that the business owner has. If we've done our job, meaning the city side, the ReStore team has done our job, we've prompted the business owner to have some things to give guidance at the initial meeting, maybe color, maybe sign styles, a bunch of things so that the sign company can work on the first iteration, which may be colors, broad concepts, uh, and which they would refine to 3 to 5 broad sign concepts. The follow-up meeting, the second iteration, there may be some refining of color ideas and refining of various sign concepts or styles, maybe narrowing it down to 2 or 3. And then the final meeting, the last meeting would be the sign design and the sign colors. The hope is that between the second and third meeting, the second and third iteration, that the business owner and the graphic design firm would have engaged a sign company to sort of review the refinement of the sign concepts to validate the design fabrication and establishing a cost-effective build, because we don't want a beautiful design that costs too much, that breaks a budget and or is too fragile. So I think that's our ideal process. As Obviously, there's things that can impact it, but that's should outline our ideal way the process should work. And I think I'm open to questions if anybody has.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron. That was great. And I would also add that we're really want to make sure because this program is across all of our neighborhoods, as Aaron mentioned, while we want to do signage and have it cohesive, especially if we're doing a a full building, what we really want to do also is make sure that it speaks to the business and also to the neighborhood as well. And so making sure that it is that is thought up in the concept phase as well with the business owner. So if people we are looking for contractors or vendors that understand Boston's different neighborhoods, the landscape, have experience working with business owners in the past, and can really help business owners go from an idea or a thought to full conception with design services as it relates to signage. And for just want to clarify that this is actually responding to a WQC. And so you would submit your proposal and then a committee would review it. And then we are going to award a contract for all 3 of the different categories. So just wanted to share that as well. Aaron, what do you is there anything else that you would add in terms of the project, the phases, and working with business owners?
Um, the specific idea to come to an application is to show work that you've done with small businesses, bricks and mortar. It's important that the people that we want to work with, that our small business owners want to engage with, is people who are familiar with small business, particularly in urban environments. I think that's to apply your experience to what our um, clientele reflects.
Yeah. And so this program absolutely helps to build up the economic vitality of our neighborhoods, making our businesses destinations that people want to go to. So we really want, you could see a lot of the new signage and actually facade on Dudley Street was remarkable. And we literally had people who would walk by it before, and now because it transformed, they were getting more traffic. And so that is part of the goal of this program, to increase traffic to our businesses and make sure they are destinations. So with that, I think we'll open it to questions if anyone has any questions about anything that was presented or about the program in general.
Hi, this is Dominic. I meant to hear DPA Communications. Awesome presentation. Looks to be like a phenomenal opportunity here. You said that the segment today could be found on the website after on the city of Boston.gov website.
Yep, it will be on the small business page within the ReStore program site landing
Excellent.
page.
Excellent. And then last question, with regards to the application process, is that something that will be sent to us because we attended this today, or is that something that we have to find from the Restore website as well?
Sorry, that's a great question. So that is actually going to be on the supplier diversity portal because that is it's a contract. So are you registered as are you registered with the city of Boston as a diverse business?
Yes.
Okay, so you should be able to go into the supplier portal and find the different WQCs.
UQCs. Awesome. Thank you very much.
But Dominic, if you want to just put your information in the chat, that would be great, and we can actually send you the we can send you the actual the contract numbers for you to look that up in the supplier portal.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Naldo, do you have any questions?
Morning, everyone. Great presentation. Thank you. I work with Cotton Square. I'm the small business specialist over, so I'll definitely be having the businesses reach out to you guys about the restore. Is there any specific thing that we have to have ready before contacting you guys?
No, not particularly. I mean, it's helpful to know that they have permission from the landlord in writing to do something, but it's not a requirement for us to talk to somebody.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining. If you both want to just put your emails in the chat, we will go ahead and make sure to send you, because we very much appreciate you joining today. So we want to make sure that you receive the contract information, and we can go ahead and share that with you after this call. So Dominic, I have yours, and Naldo, if you want to just add yours in, that would be awesome.
Great. Thank you, Alicia.
Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining. The application closes, I believe, next week, correct?
Yes,
Aaron?
yes, next week.
Okay, so you have a week. So hopefully that was enough information. I hope you both apply because this is the second time we had to reopen it, and so very much looking forward to having vendors on board. So we do have a pipeline of projects. So we're very excited about the program and the trajectory of it. And so please reach out if you have any questions. You can reach out to oh, Aaron, why don't you also put your email in the chat as well?
Will do.
Great. So you can email Aaron at the email there if you have any additional questions specific to that we might have not covered here that you thought of afterwards. So again, thank you so much for joining, and we look forward to hopefully working with you in the near future. Thank you.